This episode of Trestle Tactics is proudly presented by Gordon Food Service.
Welcome to Trestle Tactics, a tips from Trestle Short. We wanted to know what's going to make our podcasts more valuable to you. And the answers were simple. You want easy to implement tactics and strategies that will let you create an outstanding experience around your senior living food and hospitality programming. So let's dive in right now on today's Trestle Tactics. Today on Trestle Tactics, we're going to talk about something that is eminently critical for every operation, and that's maintaining readiness for an unannounced health inspection. Now, we know as operators that there's nothing more frustrating than having an unannounced health inspector walk through our kitchen. We think we're ready. We think we've got it under control, and they find a bunch of little things wrong. Things that could have been prevented, things that were avoidable, yet we just got so busy with the day-to-day that we started overlooking them. So what we want to do and what I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to give you 5 strategies that you can implement to make sure that your operation is always prepared for that health inspection, regardless of what time of day. So the first strategy, the first thing you want to do is we want to implement a daily checklist, right? So we want to create and enforce this daily checklist that covers all areas of your operation. So think of things like cleanliness, food storage, food hierarchy, labeling and dating, food safety handling practices. This checklist should align with what your health department is going to look for, their report that they use, their standards. It's going to include all the tasks, right? So things like checking temperatures of your refrigerators and freezers, ensuring that the food is stored properly, and making sure that food surfaces are getting sanitized properly. Using this checklist is going to make sure that you can maintain that constant state of readiness regardless of time of day. Number 2 is regular staff training. Make sure you're conducting ongoing training sessions for all staff members, even some of those outside of the food service department, on food safety practices. Things such as personal hygiene, food safety handling, hand washing, all of those kinds of things are really important so that way you can make sure your team is ready. Making sure that you're even looking at things that are a little more detailed, like cross-contamination, correct food storage. The idea here is that regardless of the opportunity, whether it's a pre-service meeting, whether it's your monthly in-service, whether it's a shift change meeting for care staff, you want to make sure that you're keeping all your staff informed and vigilant about the practices that are needed to make sure everyone is contributing to that culture of compliance and readiness for that health inspection. Our third item is maintaining documentation and records. One of the things that happens, especially on the unannounced visits when maybe the health department's investigating a norovirus outbreak or some other gastrointestinal thing, you want to make sure that you have your documentation all together and ready to review. Keeping that necessary documentation up to date it's also got to be easily accessible. So this is going to include things like your temperature log sheets, your food and service logs, food temps, cleaning schedules, pest control reports, even those food safety and training certificates for your employees. One thing I recommend all operators do is create a 12-month folder. What I mean by this is it is a folder or even a binder, if you will, that has 12 sections in it, and it is labeled January through December, one for each month of the year. And all you simply do is at the end of the month, you take all of your log sheets, all of your training documentation, all your cleaning schedules, anything and everything that is a document that a health inspector might want to see about your operation, and put it in that month's section. So we're going to pull out March from last year and we're going to put in March this year. And you just do that every month and you maintain that binder at the end of the month. You will always have the last 12 months on hand with a system like that. And this is going to demonstrate to those inspectors that you are serious about maintaining your food safety and health standards. Are you looking for new ideas? Then you're invited to a once-a-year big show. Gordon Food Show. Taste hundreds of new products. Learn cutting-edge culinary trends. Attend expert-led presentations. Connect with industry specialists. Special show-only discounts. Gain valuable insights. It's free to attend. The possibilities are limitless. Start here, go everywhere. Gordon Food Service. The fourth strategy that I think you should implement that I know will help you be successful is conducting self inspections. A lot of times, we get into our world, we got our blinders on, we're doing the day to day, we get really busy. So we don't think to do these self inspections, to check ourselves, if you will, to make sure that we're ready. So regularly performing self inspections using that same criteria that the health department is looking for can help you identify potential issues before they become violations. Addressing these issues promptly can prevent them from being flagged during an actual inspection. The other piece of the puzzle here is that you should consider using a third party auditor to occasionally come in for an unbiased assessment of your operations, health, and safety practices. We don't always think of this, but a lot of times, like I said, we live in that world. So all the little things that may get caught by a health inspector, we may not see if we're doing these on a regular basis ourselves. So bringing in that third party can really be helpful. It doesn't have to be every day or every week. Do it once a quarter, maybe in between when you expect health inspections, whatever it might be. You definitely want to have an extra pair of eyes helping you out. And then the fifth one, and this goes for just about any other practice you do in your operation. You want to foster open communication. We want to encourage our staff to report any food safety concerns or potential hazards they see to you or another supervisor as soon as they see them. We want to create an environment where those employees feel comfortable speaking up about issues without any fear of retribution. This is going to be essential for identifying and addressing these problems quickly. You also want to be sure to regularly discuss the health. You also want to be sure that you are regularly discussing health inspection readiness in all of those various staff meetings along with training. Make sure that everyone's always thinking about it, is always there, and they feel comfortable that they can take on a health inspector anytime they walk through the door. So by implementing these five strategies, operators, you can ensure that your establishments are going to be prepared for an unannounced health inspection, protecting your residents, guests, family members, and anyone that's going to come inside our senior living communities, and we'll take care of business. So these five strategies, if you implement them, they're going to help ensure that your community is ready and prepared for an unannounced health inspection. And you're going to be sure that your practices are going to protect your residents, families, guests, and anybody else. As long as by implementing these five strategies, you as an operator can ensure your senior living community is always prepared for an unannounced health inspection. Our goal with this is we want to make sure that we protect our residents, our families, our guests, and our community's reputation and business by making sure that we're always ready to pass the health inspection. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Trestle Tactics. Be sure to like and subscribe on any of our channels, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you listen to us. Also, be sure to follow us on any of your social media channels at Tips from Trestle. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode of Trestle Tactics.